It is no secret why people love the heavyweights.
Right hand by Lewis, but it goes down!
More than in any other division, there is always the chance of a sudden and spectacular ending.
Michael Moore is down, goes Moore on a right hand.
A list of the biggest punchers in boxing history has as much potential for being contentious as a pound-for-pound ranking.
Like dynamite, right to the jaw.
KO percentages, testimonies from past opponents, and highlight reels are all useful for narrowing the list down to finalists.
Strong Joe Frazier and George Foreman. He hit hard.
But in the end, subjective opinion is still the deciding factor.
Ellis standing there. Oh!
We present you top 10 hardest punchers in heavyweight boxing history. Smoking Joe was surely the greatest heavyweight left hooker.
Joe Frazier was a hell of a fighter. Joe Frazier belonged in any era.
Sometimes he needed an accumulation of punches to get the job done, but his left hook flattened light heavyweight champion Bob Foster and blew Jimmy Ellis out of the fight.
Ellis standing there. Oh! A tremendous left.
On March 8, 1971, Frazier faced off against Muhammad Ali in the fight of the century at Madison Square Garden.
I'm gonna slip and slide, you know, and pop him with body shots, you know, and I get over the right hand counter.
Frazier knocked Ali down in the 15th round with the left hook and earned a unanimous decision from the 3 judges at ringside.
Maybe with the loser. There it is.
With 43 knockouts in 49 successive wins, Marciano has to be near the top of any heavyweight hitters list.
Marciano was a grim, destroying kind of a guy who was going to beat him up.
Put the jab on the chin, Marciano.
I think the left hook hurt him, and he dropped right into my right hand.
Now watch Rocky's right hand.
His come from behind KO win over Jersey Joe Walcott was one of the most dramatic one-punch finishes of all time. The right hand that delivered most of Marciano's stoppages was nicknamed Suzy Q, one of the most paralyzing weapons in the history of boxing. Early in his career, he was notorious for his punching power, with 11 first-round knockouts to his credit. David Tua never won a world title, but the Samoan from New Zealand put multiple world champions to sleep.
But what I love about the whole total package is his viciousness when that bell rings.
Hard left hand by Tua Ruiz. It rocks in the first 20 seconds.
Tua's first round stoppages of world champions John Reese and Michael Moore both show up routinely on YouTube highlight reels.
Because I'm so short and so small, you know, they underestimate me, and I love that.
If only Tua could have developed the ability to cut off the ring on a world-class fighter, he would have fought his way into the Hall of Fame.
This kid can punch. Physically he's good, mentally he's good, and he wants to fight.
As it stands, he remains one of the most popular fighters of the past 30 years. Easton was among the most devastating punchers the sport has ever seen.
He was so powerful. Honest to God, when he jabbed you, it was the same as punching somebody, you know?
A jab and a right uppercut, and Johnson hits the deck for the 3rd time.
He stood only a half inch above 6 feet tall, but he had the 84-inch reach of a 7-footer.
They put a mouthpiece in his mouth where he can't talk, I'm gonna kill him.
His 2 early KO wins over Cleveland Williams and the 3rd round knockout over the classic stylist Zora Foley were considered awesome exhibition of heavyweight firepower.
Liston lands a right, and then a left hook. Zek goes down.
Liston's power was too much for the best heavyweights of his time and enabled him to twice demolish Floyd Patterson in the first round. Vladimir Klitschko's left jab is among the best in the history of the heavyweight division.
Again, not doing enough to win the round. Good work from Klitschko.
He's completely dominating. He's making it look easy.
It's a good shot again.
But it's Klitschko's straight right that earned him the nickname Dr. Steelhammer.
Well, he never saw the right hands because he was trying to get out of the way of the extended left hand.
The long-reigning heavyweight champion has knocked out 53 opponents for a KO ratio of 77%.
Vitaly, my brother's fights and my fights are one-sided. We're not giving a chance for our opponents to do anything to us.
Klitschko holds the record for the longest cumulative heavyweight title reign of all time and defeated 23 opponents for the World Heavyweight Championship. Mike Tyson's emergence as a dominant force at the heavyweight in the second half of the 80s is one of the most documented events in the sport's history.
Long is 27.
Oh, but when they land, they're so precise. I can't help it who you are. You have to go down.
Tyson was like the reincarnation of Jack Dempsey in a bigger, better form.
You have a sledgehammer, man. When I go down there, I feel it. He ready to hit that. It's the hardest I ever been hit.
His ability to overpower his opponent was like none we have ever seen in the sport.
He hit guys and knocked them unconscious. And he had hand speed like a Muhammad Ali.
Right uppercut to the body by Tyson again.
He's going to be remembered for a long time.
Mike Tyson knocked out Trevor Berbick in the second round in 1986 to become the youngest heavyweight champion in the history of professional boxing.
That's all, and we have a new era in boxing.
More than 60 years after he retired, many boxing historians still regard Joe Louis as the greatest heavyweight champion of all time.
In the first year of his career, he was fighting top 10 heavyweights, and he acquitted himself time after time, with knockout after knockout after knockout.
His great hand speed, especially in combination, was awesome to behold.
The left hook that he would hit you with was so short, you couldn't see it.
He held the belt for a record, 12 years and 25 defenses. Of those 25 successful defenses, 21 were won by knockout, 5 in the first round.
A dynamite right to the jaw, and Schmeling goes down here in the first round.
By the early 80s, Earnie Shaver's punching power was so legendary.
A wicked right uppercut floors Ellis. Jimmy.
Stronger than Joe Frazier and George Foreman. He hit hard.
Not only were 68 of Shaver's 74 victories by stoppage, but also 33 of them came in the first 2 rounds.
Where did that punching power come from?
I was blessed with it. I grew up on a farm. I started when I was 12 years old. By the time 21, knocked everybody out.
He knocked down Holmes with a right hand that might have finished many heavyweights. Shaver's was especially dangerous early in the fight, as he showed when bombing out Ken Norton inside 2 minutes.
Again, this time I don't know if he can get up. It's stopped.
3-time world heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis was one of the best right-hand hitters in the history of the heavyweight division.
This is a tremendously big heavyweight with a tremendously big punch.
At 6'5" with an 84 each, Lewis would beat his opponents at a distance and keep them there, finishing many of his fights early.
but I'm the best fighter on the planet. No guy test.
He delivered some dramatic KO wins, notably against Razor Radok, Andrew Golota, Franz Sobota, and in the rematch with Rahman. In 2002, Lewis defeated Mike Tyson in one of the most highly anticipated fights in boxing history.
Let his hands go. Catches two huge uppercuts.
Big George did not punch with the impeccable form of a Tyson, Easton or Lewis, but there was a time where he looked like an unstoppable force, clubbing his opponents with big looping, bludgeoning blows. His 1973 knockout over Joe Frazier was one of the most stunning performances ever, knocking him down 6 times along the way.
He's buckled. He is down.
Foreman stayed out of the ring for 10 years, from 1977 until 1987, and his comeback was considered ill-advised because he was 38 when he attempted his return. He was still capable of landing heavy single blows.
He's still George Foreman. He still has that unbelievable punching power.
Knockout punch doesn't always look like one, and Rodriguez goes down.
Actually, I'd like to clean up the whole heavyweight division. That includes the heavyweight champion of the world.
In 1994, he regained the heavyweight championship with a 10th round knockout of champion Michael Moorer.
Michael Moorer